Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Trying to make sure the voice slash like trying to make sure things aren't like overpowering each other too much.
Hype, hype.
Hype, hype.
You could be a little louder.
I'm curious how I can do that, so I'll probably try to figure that out.
みんなまだ回復したわけじゃなさそうだし、やっぱりもう少し休もうか。
Let me see. Hello. Oh. I go a little bit higher. I hope that's not super loud.
教授が帰ってくる前に勇み足で動くのも良くないし。
これ以上のさっきでもやっぱりじっと考え事し休んだって。
Hold on.
でも
ならこれ以上
Me...
たくま
Uh-oh.
あそこ
What's happening? Ooh, scary shadow.
どうすんのこんな状態で
It's better.
It's better? Okay.
私はさっきの味方だフローラも当然よみんな
Okay. We'll complete this and then I'll be able to.
ファルコモン頼む。
俺たちの力を恐れていながらしっかり
お前
揉めてる場合じゃないでしょ集中しないとやられちゃうってば
仕方ない。
Alright. So we got this big G over here. He's huge now. Look at this. This is War Growlmon. He's awesome. Put him right here. Agumon. I'm trying to train Syakumon. Large, yeah, yes. Trying to train Syakumon. Labramon's. Oh, I have to split them. Oh. No, we'll bring Agumon over here. And then we'll put this one over here. And we'll put Labramon over here too. And then next to the other one, we'll put something else. Yeah, let's do Angemon. Alright. Damn, we literally got ambushed. Holy crap. See, as you see, he eviscerates people, so he's great.
よし俺が行こう絶対に勝つんだディアトリモン行こう
Honestly love to see it.
Oh yeah, no, he's stupid strong. Oops.
もっと守れる力をドーベルマンやってやる
Ripping net. Interesting. I wonder what that is.
僕の番だね
And then here's Agumon's new evolution.
グレイモンの体
And he eviscerates people too. Actually, I want to hit this.
おっと俺の番だな
Who has got a helmet and a horn now?
Yes, he does.
連休はどうだ
That's an interesting sound. I do not remember them making that sound.
よし俺の番だ
All right, here we go. Just barely out of my range.
ここは俺が
Little wet movement noise.
But yeah, it's weird.
That's what goopy sounds like, Omafo.
Dang, ganged up on him.
よし私だな
Smacks him with his staff. Just
おっと俺の番だな 強くなる約束だうぜ
Stop running.
Love sticks, so if you're gonna be a bitch, stick.
stick.
俺の番だ
Actually, you know what? Kaboom.
ここは俺が行く。せっ
Literally one square over, and it would be just destroyed. Can I go back? No, that's too far away. Oh my gosh. That'd be great. Oh.
よし、私だな。
ここは俺だ。
Y'all know like when you don't see the light so no head, but when you see the light, head.
Once you see the light. Actually, can I hit him downrange with this guy? One square again! Oh my gosh. That's wild. Oh, you are brave. Or dumb. Or both.
よし。俺の番だ。
I saw eradicate you from the existence of this plane.
だか。この力。
Cool.
どうにか。
そうだな。でも敵の様子が変だった。
Can you do that to me too, Mal?
明らかに違ってた。
Can you do that to me? No.
もしかしてこっちの味方が相手とグルだ。
違う。断じてそんなことはない。
Oh my god. So, right now, they're all. Most of the characters right now are suspicious of the Digimon. I know the last time I streamed, I was like all at the beginning. But there's a lot of story to get through. So, I'll probably just kind of sum it up to people are dying. Their behaviors of how they, like, when they're about to die, they start going a little crazy, start seeing visions and stuff. And then it's like visions of their past and what's happened to them, and they end up getting killed. The last person that died got eaten by their own Digimon, but what they failed to put two and two together because they're kids is that the reason why the Digimon ate their quote-unquote partner really wasn't a partner, but the reason why the Digimon ate him was because the guy was like beating on him. So
私たちが傷つかないとでも。
おいおい。俺たちは固い絆で結ばれ、運命を共にする同志だ。
and all the other Digimon are trying to like let him know like, hey, like we're not here to hurt you.
ああ。
So they're trying their best.
でもその運命の同志ってのは修二さんのロップモンだって亮のクネモンだって同じだったんだろう。それは運命だなんだって言うなら説明しろよ。
The state is
なんであい
dead.
つらはあんな形で死んじまったのか説明してみろよファルコも。
So as you see, they really just kind of like, it's just upsetting. Obviously, the kids are watching each other die, and little do they put two and two together. They should also realize that, well, yeah, you're watching each other die, but also the Digimon are dying too.
何が彼らをあんな風にさせ俺にはなぜなのかわからない。
俺見ろ。お前たちだっていつそうなるかわからない。本当にお前たちは。
つまりミノルは俺たちを。
違うよ。僕はタクマを傷つけたい。
お姉ちゃん、悲しいの？悲しいなら聞かない方がいいよ。
おいアグモ、
本当にそんなことないと言い切れるのか？
絶対だよ。タクマは僕が守るんだから。
Yeah, they are concerned, both sides, rightfully so. Unfortunately, and that's just due to the fact that the way things have been playing out, it's do or die almost every single time they go against the bosses of the game.
葵、私だってそうよ。葵のこと助けたいの。だから分かってる。分かってるからこそ申し訳ないのよ。ラブラ、そんな葵。
もうやめてくれカイト。これじゃみんなに不安が伝わっていく。
不安の元はそっちだろうが、責任転嫁すんなよ。
お兄ちゃん、言い過ぎ。
分かった、もういい。
ファルコも
お前たちのいないところだ。信じ合えないのなら共にいる意味はない。
ファルコも
おい、みんな。こんなところにいたのか。
So the scientist professor, whatever the hell this guy is, he reminds me of TK from the original Digimon. He is back somehow with this flimsy thing of saying, "Oh, I hit a ledge on the way down, and then I landed in the water, and then I'm somehow still alive." So I don't trust this guy. But of course, the humans are like, "Oh, but he's the only other human, so we gotta trust him."
抜けた先まで行ってみたんだが、そこにも敵地とばかりに警戒したのだ。
Looks like he went to go look at more ruins.
とはいえ、ざっくりと眺めただけだ。まだ何か潜んでいる可能性はある。休憩が十分なら新たな発見を求めてみんなで町へ移動した方が。
そうですね。みんな探索しながらファルコモンを追いかけ。
タクマ、
Oh yeah, this is the guy who definitely doesn't know about the sacrifices.
Yeah, definitely doesn't know about the sacrifices. Exactly.
おや？
それがあいつ。
なるほど。
別に。
そうか。辛い目にあったんだ。心が疲れ。古より伝わる話の中で厄災を退き、刺激し君たちが今一緒にいるこの獣が。
そういえば教授は敵のことを獣神。
So this is where these kids get to figure out the lovely thing about how not everybody who is this same species in a way are all evil.
間違いない。神といっても広く信仰を集める存在ではない。思いを受け止めて力を返すところはどこか神らしい流れを持っている。
難しい話はやめてくれって。もっと分かりやすく話してくれよ。
なら聞きたいことはないか？何かあれば質問してくれ。
じゃあなんで襲ってくるのと襲ってこないのがいるんだ？
それは刺激する者の心を反映する。
Oh, there we go. Kinagami reflect their master's hearts.
古い文献の神隠しにまつわる記述だ。獣神はすなわち鏡である。
Yep.
パートナーとなった人間
Kinagami transformed based on the feelings of their partner.
獣神気高い
Yep.
心の持ち主
A
ならば
pure-minded master leads to clarity, while instability can cause
君
complications.
たちのそばにいる獣神たち
Your
の
monster's evolution represents your own internal state.
心の。
You transform, does that represent my inner state? How does Agumon seem to you, Professor?
あまり確定的
Or
でない
why
ことを
say
言う
anything
のは主義に
unfounded?
反する。現時点ではまだ
He's
成
still
長
in
の
a,
余地があ
in a
る。
developmental stage.
おそらくまだ潜在的な力を秘めている。そう。
あんまりじっと見られるとちょっと
Oh, this staring is getting kind of creepy, guys.
ごめん、でも。
獣神の使い方を誤れば、そのトガは自分自身に跳ね返ることにな
If
る。
a I almost said Shinigami, which is the death god. If a Kinogami, or Kimonogami, Kimonogami, be mishandled, their master will ultimately pay the price, which is what happened to the last guy.
彼らが守りたいと思う人間、すな獣神に結びついた。
なあ、なんで俺たちは獣？
すまない。その質問に関しては確かな答え
Oh, the guy who knew but didn't know anything about the sacrifices for some reason doesn't know why the kids are linked together with the Digimon. I
で
wonder.
も、獣神の祠に僕たちが揃ったのにも、きっと何か意味があったんですよね。
ああ、おそらくな。しかし、それだけでは説明できないこともある。
Eyes.
Yeah, exactly, the eyes.
よかった。祠にみんなが集まったの、うちのせいじゃなかったんだ。みゆちゃんのせいじゃないよ。そうよ。
不安定な心が獣を変
ミノル、だい
える。なあ、たくま。
Side-eye may be even.
Exactly, just.
ファルコモンを探しに行きたい。
俺、教授の言うことを信じるなら、獣が人を襲うのはそばにいる人の心が原因。つまり俺が今感じてる怖がって疑う気持ちや言葉が、だったらあいつが悪い進化をしたら、それは俺の心のせいってことだ。あいつは悪くなかったんだ。なのにあいつは怖がってばっかりな俺を。あいつだから、もし俺が不安な気持ちでいたせいであいつを悪い方向に進化させたらって思ったら、それはダメな気がするんだ。
That's a good person right there. He's like, all my problems making, are causing him his issues. I shouldn't be doing that. Good person.
そっか。きっとまだ間に。
ファルコモンきっと喜ぶぞ。僕も
うちもみんなでファルコモンを探そう。
ありがとう。みんな待っててくれよ、ファルコモン。
All right. A certain room unlocked? That's wild.
That's specific.
Right? It's very specific. Alright, let's check out the free battle area. I always check out the free battle area because it allows me, one, to level up my Digimon. And two, It allows me a chance to get like certain items that can help out. Help me out. Nah, we're gonna do auto battle. Let's see how the computer plays it. There we go. And then finish him off. Can you imagine if I had a double knockout doing that? That'd be wild. Right? Ooh, hit him with a knockback too. Oh, well. Oh. Ooh, clap back. Come on, finish him off. So close. There we go. perfect.
You wanna talk about your theory?
Yeah, probably should do that. And then truthfully, I'll probably call it a night after that too. Here, we'll tell him to ask Drachmon himself. Oh, that pissed him off. Then I'll go over my theory. Agumon get upset? Damn. See the way that the way they act, it's very like they're meant for each other, which makes a lot of sense. Yeah, but Agumon went somewhere. I was not expecting this. The big monsters are here. We're here to protect. So I think we might get another evolution for one of these Digimon. I just don't know which one. Oh, that's kind of funny. They did the same exact thing. So I should be able to get him like right down the line and then just destroy him. Oh, it blocked. It's a good block too. You can kind of tell which one's stronger than the other at the moment. sad face is so real.
よし俺の番だ
Yeah, they're meant to be together. Alright, and then after we're done with this, I will talk about my theory that I have. Which is easy to talk about when you head to the profile. Alright, so these are the characters. Right? And we get to see all the characters. So, a theory that I came up with based on what I'm watching, you know, as I'm playing the game, is that I think each of these characters have passed on. They each of them have died in some kind of way. And the way they died is based off of like how they act and the little bit of backstory they've been giving. So we'll just go down the list. We'll leave the main character for last. But here we go, we have Kaito. So Kaito, his main thing is keeping an eye on his sister, watching his sister, trying to save his sister like every single chance he gets. He wants to be around her. You know, he has a bad attitude, so he just, you know, he's very like abrupt. He's very straightforward, as you saw. He was straightforward. He's like, hey, I will punch you if you cause a problem. So I think, based on his character, how much he's like trying to protect his sister, I think each of these characters have died. And the way he died was that he was trying to save his sister from something. And it becomes a lot more apparent as we keep going through each of the characters that there is a high chance that they died. Whether by self-infliction or, you know, something else, which you're going to hear about something else in a moment. So Aoi, Shibuya. Her last name's Shibuya. That's kind of crazy. So she has this issue with her like self-image right now. Not when it comes to the beauty kind of standards, but she just doesn't understand who she is. And it's definitely apparent for when you are listening to her whenever she's upset. She's always talking about like, oh, I don't want to be a certain way, or she don't want to come off a certain way to the characters. So whenever you talk to her and say like she's like, oh, the mommy of the group or something like that, it really upsets her because it doesn't show. She didn't believe that's who she is, and she doesn't like that. So if you ever pay attention to her character, it seems very much that she may have killed herself because she just didn't know who she was or anything like that. Now, she is one of the more flimsy ones, but as we go through, there's going to be a lot more solid ones that kind of wrap it all up and sum them all together. So Minoru, now here's the one that's going to be a little bit, he's an unfortunate one. Minoru is a person who knows, like, he has like all of these different kind of ideas that have a lot of backing to him. So like, he's a person who knows a lot of random knowledge, random facts about hearing these things. And a big thing that he does is that not only does he know these random facts, but sometimes he's not too sure of it himself when it comes to these facts. And what I'm thinking is that because he calls himself a survivalist and he clearly, at most of the points he knows what he's doing, but there are things that he just kind of gets in over his head and he gets himself in trouble or hurt. I think that he was camping on the mountain that we all ended up on. And while camping on the mountain, he accidentally ate something that got him killed, or he tried to, let's say, jump that ledge that he didn't realize he couldn't get. Shuji is a guy who you find out in the story that he himself has a problem with his father. And being, he has a self-worth issue when it comes to, he doesn't believe that he's enough. He doesn't believe that he's strong enough, good enough, any of that. And his father puts him down constantly. So I'm definitely pretty certain, and this is one of the good ones that have a really good evidence, just due to the fact that he was just tormented for so long by his father, and it gave him just horrible flashbacks and memories that he did kill himself, and unfortunately, that's how he's kind of here. Ryo is a character who had trouble kind of speaking his mind. He had trouble just talking to people, making connections, talking to other characters. He's always to himself. He's either angry or he was just quiet. It was never any kind of conversation with him, really. With that being said, the things that he did talk about was his mom. And a big thing is that it seems like he had no other family because he only talked about his mom. And he specifically said mommy, not like mom or mother or even his mom's by saying his mom by her name. It was specifically mommy, which means he has a deep kind of attachment towards his mom that may have been very reliant. He may not have been able to make connections or friends the entire time as he was growing older, and he lost his mom. Because the way you find out that he lost his mom was when he thought that they all died. He was like, "Oh, we must be all dead. But if we're dead, that means she should be here. Mommy, where's she?" He thought he was dead and he could go see his mom finally. That's the number one thing he was concerned about. He didn't care that he died as much as that he cared about not being alone. He can't handle being alone. He can't make connections. So unfortunately, I think obviously these are all theories, but I think he committed suicide because he couldn't fill the need of connection with other people, and that led to his death. He killed himself. Saki is a sad one that you kind of find out. Is as you watch her, she just seems like the character that wants to just be the pretty girl, leave her alone, right? But as you pick up on different clues throughout the game, which we get to see different clues throughout the game as you talk to these characters, and they talk about how Saki seems to be talking about how she's sick, that she's a sickly character currently, and that she, it seems like she's afraid of people finding out. She wants to distance herself from everybody whenever anybody talks about it. She's really super freaked out if anybody finds out that she's sick. And she has doctor notes and stuff that you end up finding out. You end up finding that she snatches from you. I think her character is that she is very sickly. And when she got really bad and sick, she decided to leave her friends and distance herself from her friends. And she ended up dying. Now, Mew is probably one of the more tragic of the characters when it comes to their death. Unfortunately, there's hints and talks that Mew might have been stalked by a guy, and that led to that, I'm assuming, due to just context clues and how protective her brother is. I'm assuming that due to her adventurous attitude that she went to go try to be adventurous to get away from her brother, and unfortunately it led to somebody stalking her and she got killed by that person, and that's why Kaito is so like, I need to get to my sister, and all that is because he believes that he messed up by giving her distance and not being there for her or saving her or any of that he could have done. So these three, I'm still trying to figure out these three characters. I don't really have an idea about them yet. But one thing that's interesting that I'm seeing right now, I literally just saw this right now, is that these two have battle backup next to them. Haru does not. So I'm assuming that these two will have a Digimon that I can team up with, which means later on they will have an affinity amount. So that's going to be interesting. So that's the main thing when it comes to these characters. Now, each person has a Digimon companion that matches as the game was just saying, it matches the heart. You know, so I see them as like the soul of the person, what they became, what they turned into. So you have Saki, who has Floramon. Floramon's a pretty flower, but then if you notice, Floramon turns into Vegemon. Vegemon is an ugly, sour creature that throws... Its move is fling poop, is what it's called. And that shows you that she starts off pretty, but then her disease clearly turns her ugly. So I'm assuming she may have cancer or something, which turns her, quote-unquote, visibly ugly, because you have to go through chemo and all this stuff, and she couldn't survive that. Kunemon is the worm one right here. Kunemon had trouble throughout the time that we got to talk to Kunemon. Had trouble just talking with anybody that was human. He had trouble communicating to be understood, which matches exactly how Ryo was. Trouble communicating and being misunderstood and just feeling like it was just alienated and no one was there for it. Shuji, of course, has Lopmon. Lopmon is a very divisive Digimon where in one direction Lopmon turns into an angel and in the other direction it turns into literally a demon. And in this version it turned into a demon because of its treatment, just like how Yuji turned really sour and really bad due to his treatment, which led to his death. Minoru has Falcomon. Falcomon is a character that believes that it knows everything, almost to its own detriment. It thinks it knows everything, and that is very similar to Minoru, who also knows everything and calls himself a survivalist. Aoi has Labramon. Labramon is it's supposed to be a Labrador. Then it turns into a Doberman, but the Doberman's a lot more vicious and angry. So it seems like the role that she feels that she is, which is that caring older sister or the mommy role, shows off as a very caring, loving, kind of like here for you kind of feel. But as Labramon turns to Doberman, etc., it gets more angry. It just shows that in her mind she just can't accept that kind of way that people see her, and it kind of drives her nuts a little bit. Kaito has the Digimon that starts off with literally having eyeballs on his hands, being able to see. It's a little bit of an evil kind of sinister one, but then it digivolves into a wolf that has knives on his feet, and then it has no eyes at all anymore. So it definitely represents how at first he was trying to keep his eyes on anybody and everybody. He wanted to make sure he had all the visual on everybody, and then something happened where it turned him into somebody who action first, thoughts later. Now, the final piece of this is, okay, cool. So let's say you all agree and they say, yeah, they probably all did commit suicide. But how do they come together? How do they meet together? So this is where the school comes together. So the school happens to be up in the mountains as well. And they're on a quote-unquote school trip. this character, so main character, Aoi, Minoru, Shuji, Ryo, Saki, were all on a school camping trip apparently, right? So that already connects Minoru. He's the camper, he's a survivalist. He might have gotten himself killed up in the mountains. Shuji, if he commits suicide, unfortunately, with this being a game from Japan, not unfortunately it being a game from Japan, but with it being a game from Japan, unfortunately they have the infamous suicide forest. So there's a chance that he hanged himself in a tree. Ryo, there's a chance he also killed himself up in the forest. Saki could have easily distanced himself and ran away into the woods to try to not let people see that they died, and they died in the forest. Aoi, same thing, could have ended their life in the forest as well, because this is a unfortunate thing that's infamous from Japan, is the forest of death, unfortunately. So all of them clearly came from the same school. The school's up in the mountains. They're on a camping trip, all that stuff. Way Kaito and Miu come through is that Miu, due to her stalker or whoever that person was, that we haven't really been told who it is yet, but whoever that person is, there's a chance took her to the mountain, and Kaito went to try to go save her, and they both ended up dying because of that person. And to sum it all together is the main character. Now we know that the school's up in the mountains, and the reason why we know the school's up in the mountains is because we actually get to see it in the game up in the mountains, because we get to see the rundown version. The rundown version shows that there's a chance that after they pass through that tunnel at the beginning of the game, that's them transitioning into the quote-unquote, let's say, we'll call it afterlife for now, but it could be just something that's like very much like a limbo kind of thing. Goes through there, and we go to what would be the actual look of what the school is now. Because after all these kids and all these kids were found dead, they definitely shut down the school. Now here's the crazy part. And I wouldn't say crazy, but here's like the fun part to add it all together, and why your character seems to be, behavioral wise, seems to be completely different than every other character on here. And that's because your character was the only one that didn't have a disease or didn't take their own life. Your character died by being in the wrong place at the wrong time. At the very beginning of the game, there was an avalanche, or there wasn't an avalanche, there was a rock slide. And that rock slide was something that none of the people realized happened, but we got to see right at the beginning. That rock slide killed him. Now here's why he was even there, and here's why he's connected to these people and why he knows them. The people he knows is Aoi, Minoru, Shuji, Ryu, and Saki. He actually knew those people. So when he went up to go to the mountains, he was probably visiting their graves or their little memorials that they put up, kind of like, unfortunately, car accidents where people might have died in a car accident. You'll put down the little, crosses or any memorials for them. He was probably trying to go visit one of those, and the rock slide killed him. And now he's in the afterlife with the rest of them. And what's different about his Digimon over everybody else's Digimon represents their soul just like his. His is a loving Digimon that has courage, leadership, and wants to guide everybody and make sure everybody's safe, just like him, because he cared and loved about his friend and wanted to go see them again and pay his respects. So he is now here, the main character is now here to guide the rest of the characters through the afterlife so that they can move on and learn to let go of what hurt them all this time. So my theory is, just sum it all up, they've all passed on, and they're in the little limbo or afterlife trying to move forward. And these ones, so Kaito, Ai, Minoru, Shuji, Ryo, Saki, and Mew are unfortunately stuck, and they need someone to guide them. And the person that will guide them is Takuma, who died in an unfortunate circumstance, but he can guide them in the right direction to allow them to pass on. So I'm hoping that kind of like theory kind of feels like it's running true a little bit, because the professor did kind of allude to the fact that the Digimon reflect the heart of their partner, which makes so much sense to my theory. And I don't know, I feel like it's a pretty good theory with pretty good evidence, especially taking consideration the unfortunate, infamous context behind suicide and suicide rates, and where suicide is carried out in Japan. And then the different reasons kind of match a lot of important standards that happen in Japan when it comes to closeness to your family. Those are good. Those are, I wouldn't say good, but those are reasons why, people may get pushed to the edge. Somebody who's just trying to, live his life, which is why he's not the one that's not as depressed, to, just how each of the characters are. It just fits who they are. And I would not be surprised if this was kind of the message, the overarching message, and the underlying message, of course, is Digimon. But yeah, no, that's just my theory, and I'm seeing more evidence as we go through the game. So I'm curious and excited to keep going to see what else could pop up. Because we could get some more answers to these theories soon.
Love it.
It's an interesting one. I have to admit, it is an interesting one, because
Amazing.
when you consider 221 speed, damn. Because when you consider the fact that, a lot of times Shinigami and then all the other yokai and gamis, gods, when they're all used, they usually tend to be used for explaining the afterlife, explaining moving on and stuff like that. So it would make sense that that's kind of what this game is trying to do, is also explain moving on and moving forward. Here, let's go save one other person real quick. Dang.
Just fucking shit up.
Yeah, he really is. Oh my gosh. He runs away. Just out of range. Oh my god.
おっと、俺の番だな。強くなる約束だ。
私も強くなるよセルモン。
よし、俺の番だ。
Destroyed. You're not gonna escape me, bro. This is it for you. Vaporize.
私だな。
ここは俺だな。
Damn FRFR.
Yeah.
私の相手だよ。よろしくね。
よし、俺の番だ。
Do something good. Okay, well. Fine. See, this move is so strong because I could literally, if they happen to line up just perfectly, I could literally destroy like a bunch of Digimon right down the line. 5 squares, 5 tiles down the line. It's like the strongest move. Holy crap.
無駄なあがきだったな。
That would be fun lol.
It would be.
crazy to get ribs from a photo.
Oh yeah. I've got to get them spare ribs, bro. What's really interesting is the trends. Every now and then, Labramon is called he, and then sometimes they are called she. It goes back and forth. See, gave into Minora gave in his anxiety and. Mood. Ooh, nice. Vaporized. Nice. All right, so I think they were at what, 23. I'm curious, how much did it move up? 26, only by 3. Ooh, that takes forever. All right, I am going to call it a night. I'm sleepy. Man, this sleep has been evading me. It's not giving me enough of it. I need more of it. But that was my theory. I feel like some of it's going to be proven right as we keep going along in the story.
Yay. Evident to see.
All right. No, that was good. I got to explain that and all that good stuff. Probably have more to the thing later. I'm gonna be thinking more about it. But y'all have a great morning. Bye bye, everybody.